Hey, I'm Dave, and welcome to my garage. So last night my new Flux Beamo laser showed up, but I didn't have a chance to unbox it because I spent all day in the shop yesterday. I was kind of tired. So we're going to unbox it this morning, and any luck, we'll get it fired up, connect it to the laptop, and get a couple of test etches going. So let's get started by opening this box. Alright, so once we opened it up, took a little bit of the styrofoam out of the way, we got rid of the user manual, tossed it over here to the side because, yeah, who needs a user manual? What we have left is a nice wrapped up laser. So let's get in here and take a look at this. There it is. Still in the box, still in the bag. Alright, let's get this moved out so we can start playing with it. Okay, so now it's out of the box. You'll notice that it is much, much smaller than my current one, which is over there. That's a beefy machine compared to this one. So it should be much easier to keep this in the shop with it being that small. So let's get this plastic off. Okay, so inside we have a box. It's got the exhaust hose. It's got a power cord. This is the Wi-Fi dongle, which is the same as the Beambox that I have over there. There should be a USB jack back here on the back that we plug this into, and there is. So put that in. We have double-sided tape, funnel, some, I would assume, blue oil, and then a scrap piece of wood. We also have a set of tools here. Set of tools. And that's it. That is all. It's in the box. Next step, I'll show you set up and burn. Okay, so now that we've got it all booted and we've got our Wi-Fi dongle connected to the back, I went ahead and connected the exhaust, and I've connected the power, got everything booted, ready to go, even threw in a couple of my stickers. Now we're ready to get it on the network so we can connect to it with the laptop and hopefully do our first run. So after you boot it up, you'll notice that the instructions here are not in English. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to press this button, which is the machine button, or settings button. This is the machine button. And then what you'll do is you'll select the fourth one from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap that one, and then select English. And you'll notice that changed the interface over to English, and you're good to go. Now, to get it on Wi-Fi, we're going to have to go to Settings, and then Internet, and then we'll go to Settings again. And then here it's going to let us select the Wi-Fi network. We're going to select that, and then we put in our password. I'm not going to show you that. And then we hit the little checkbox at the end. So that was the important part, was hitting the checkbox. Now you'll see that it's fetching the IP address. This will be very important once it actually gets this. So we can see there it's 10.0.4.5. Now remember that, because we're going to need it over here in the application in a second. All right, now let's change the machine name, because by default the name of this machine is Charlie, and I'm not really feeling that. So first step is to go to Settings, and then Machine, and then you'll see there's a little pencil right here next to the word Charlie. I'm going to tap that, and it pulls up a keyboard. Now I am going to name my machine Cable. Now the reason for that I'll explain in a moment, but you need to press this checkbox right here, and that will turn around and save it. And there you'll see the name has been changed to Cable. Now the reason I'm doing that is because that laser over there is called Cyclops. And from the X-Men, Cyclops' kid is Cable. Now we need to visit the flux3dp.com website, and then we'll select Downloads from the top, and from this page you will pick whatever operating system you have and download a copy of the app. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to connect it to the laptop. Now by any sheer luck, it will just work. You'll be able to go right up here to this little box. You'll see it right there. It actually says export, but if you tap that, you'll see that it pops up, and you'll see that Cable is right there. Now if it doesn't, the way to fix that is to go over here to File and Preferences, and then under Machine IP Address, you want to put in the IP address of the laser itself that we got earlier when we were setting up the Wi-Fi. But most people wouldn't have to worry about that. Like I said, mine just showed up. I didn't even have to do it. But if you have to force it, you can force it in that way. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to test the camera on it, and we're going to make sure that we can have a connection between the laptop and the laser. So what we'll do is we're going to grab this little scrap piece of wood that came in the kit, and we're just going to lay it down here on the deck somewhere over here to the side. We're going to close the lid, and then we'll go back over here to the software, and I'll show you how to make it work. Alright, so over here in the app, what we have is we have this little camera icon over here on the left hand side. You want to click that, and we're going to select our laser. You'll see that it connected, and the laser would reset itself back to its home position and fire up. This will let us know that it's ready. Now you'll want to take your camera, and you'll just click and drag on this screen, and then you're going to see over here that it's going to run across wherever you dragged, and it's going to take a picture of whatever was on the screen. And you'll see there that it got a picture of that piece of wood. Now I was a little off, so what I can do is I just go right here, and I'll say take a picture of that area, and it will go in and fill in those spots. So now you can see that it got a good shot of this piece of wood. Now that we've done that little test, let's actually put in a real piece of wood and focus the laser and get everything ready to go and see if we can actually burn something onto this right now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set this blank coaster that I have laying around, and we're going to put it into the laser, and we're going to focus the laser. That's an important thing, that the laser needs to be focused every time you run it, so pay very close attention to how you do this. We're going to put this piece right here on the deck. We're going to somewhat make it straight. Now what I usually do is I usually use the side of this base plate here as my straight edge, so that I know that my material is straight. Now with the Beamo, you'll see that there's this little piece of acrylic right here. If you flip that down and you go to move this head over, you're going to see that it bumps right into that piece of wood. Now what you want is you want this laser to be exactly this height off the top of the material that you're cutting. Now on the Beamo, you just take this little ring right here, and you loosen it just a hair, and you're able to slide the laser up and down. Now we're going to take this over the top, and we're going to lay that down so that it touches right there. You can see, and then we're going to tighten this back down, and then we'll move that rod out of the way, and your laser is focused. Now that we have the laser focused and the material in place, what we need to do is we have to go back over to the laptop. We're going to take a picture of whatever's on the deck, and then we're going to lay on top of it an image that we want it to burn, and then we're going to burn that directly into this piece of wood. Okay, I'm back over here in the software, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to go back and we're going to hit the camera, and we're going to select the laser, and you'll see that it connected, and it fired up the laser, and then our cursor turned to a camera. So now we're just going to take a giant picture of this, and you'll see here that it's running over, taking a picture of the deck and what's under it, and then you'll see right there that our material is right there in the picture. Alright, so now that we have this, we're going to zoom in just a bit so we can see it. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the image, and I want to go ahead and select, of course, my favorite image, which is my logo, and it's going to load my logo in here. And then I'm going to go through and just real time, we're going to resize this. And we're going to put it right here. Alright, so now, you know, it's roughly in the center. I don't really care at the moment because I'm just doing this for a demo. Let's make it just a little bit bigger because, you know, who doesn't love my logo? Now over here, we'll go and select the parameters, and the parameter that we're going to use is wood monochrome engraving. And then you'll see that the settings at the bottom are already predefined for you. So the next step will be to go over here and hit export. And then we select our laser, and you'll bring it up here, and you'll see that it's going to take 4 minutes and 34 seconds to run that on cable. Now, before I hit start, I'm going to go set my camera up so that I can record it. But the next step will be to hit start, and we'll see what happens. And there you have it. The first etch on my new laser. Dun dun dun! Check it out. Look how clean that did. Okay, important parts. Instruction manual. Make sure you read it. It's got all the info in it, including troubleshooting. It also talks about machine maintenance and all that. But a couple of safety things. First off, you'll notice that I'm sitting in here and I've got this vent pipe just hanging off over here. But you'll also notice that I have a huge garage door open, and this is all venting outside. You need to make sure that wherever you put this little machine, that vent gets vented outdoors, because this stuff will come out toxic. Depending on what you're cutting, if you start etching and cutting acrylic, you will get sick. Trust me, speak from experience. If you happen to hit anything with a coating like varnish or lacquer or any kind of coating over the top of it, when that stuff burns off, it will make you sick. So be very careful about where you put this and make sure that you vent it outside. Also, Whenever you look at it, don't look directly at the laser, especially when it's cutting on a high power, because that is a very bright light and it could mess up your eyes. I highly recommend a set of laser glasses. They're red glasses that cover your eyes that you can then look at the laser. And then the final thing is, like CNC machines, people will usually put a camera on it and monitor their CNC machine when they're away. I do not recommend running the laser when you're not in the room. I usually don't even like to go in the house when my laser is running for a very large amount of time, because it is a high-powered laser and it's hitting flammable objects. You never know what's inside of the material you're hitting, and it could catch on fire. And that's the last thing you want to do, is burn your shop down because you weren't around. So make sure that you're always keeping an eye on whatever this thing is doing, and you make sure that you vent it outside. So other than that, I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you next time.